Raise your hand if you think you have a fantastic memory. Laughter. Okay, I can see a couple of hands raising, so let me make it easy for you. I'm going to ask you an easy question. Raise your hands if you think you have a bad memory. A lot more hands going up right now. And what about the rest of you? Did not raise the hands, you forgot to raise your hand. Well, here's the good news. It really doesn't matter whether you think you have a good memory or not, because it's a fact that you can train your brain to remember better, to learn faster, and to achieve mastery in anything you want in your life. And I'd like to show you something really interesting here, which actually demonstrates to you what you can do if you train your brain. Now I would request any 5 of you, any 5 people, can I have a volunteer to please come here and write something on the flip chart? Yeah, we've got 2 volunteers right from here, so 1 2 3. Thank you. Okay, I promise you don't have to remember anything, so that's a good thing. Yeah. Okay, so we got one more person. One more person, come on, just one more person. I want one more person to come up. Yes sir, please come. Okay, anyone, it's fun. Alright, so we've got 5, so big enough applause for all of them here. Thank you very much for volunteering. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. So I think you can start the nearest flip chart. So all you need to do is I'll just open it for you. So all you need to do is to write a 615, write a 6-digit number on this flip chart. Write it a little big so everyone in the audience can see. So one line, a 6-digit number, and after you've done this, please pass the marker to the next person. You write the 6 digits. And sir, is it okay if you stay back after you've written on the your digit, because I need a little bit more help from you? Okay, good, okay, perfect. So I am going to go behind the flip chart, so because I'm not going to look at these numbers for the next few minutes. All good so far? Okay, good. So no, you also need to write a 6 digits, a random number. Alright, so if everything went well, you should be having a 30-digit number on the flip chart. Is that correct? Okay, big one of the pros for everyone. Thank you very much, and please have a seat, except you. Can I know your name please? Angela. So Angela is here. Bigger plus for Angelo, because he's going to help you a little more thing. Okay, now what's going to happen is I'm going to stand behind the flip chart, and actually, if you don't mind, can you please call these numbers to me out loud one by one? Yes sir, go ahead. Right. Sorry, I think I just messed up a little thing here. So after you said 20, what is the next number? 48. Okay, next 6. Okay, go ahead. Right 3, right 0, right 3, right 0, right 3, right 1, right 1, right 6, right. So thank you much. Speaking of applause for Angelo here, perfect, thank you. Alright, so of course you're expecting me to do something, which is true. So what's going to happen is I'll try to recall these numbers from my memory, and let's see how it goes. The numbers are 7717. Okay, I messed up, let's start again. So it's 77712048673203077319822254. Okay, wait, it's 82 after that should be. It's 95162534. Okay, thank you. Okay, so what's the time right now? 8:45. Sometimes 8:45 is not the right time for me. I miss 1 or 2 digits. Music. Alright, so what you've seen is a demonstration of what anyone can do now. That's just a 30-digit number. Will come back whenever some of you are wondering, how I memorize these numbers. I'll come back and explain to you how I did it. Now one of my records is I memorized a number consisting of 1944 digits. It looks something like that. I memorized a deck of playing cards in less than 2 minutes. I also memorized a deck of 7 decks of playing cards in 60 minutes. So for those of you who are thinking of taking me to the casino, I'm available, where you can talk about the negotiation later on. And also, I became a grandmaster of memory many years ago and also broke a Guinness record in memorizing the longest sequence of colors. Now it is true that I broke a Guinness record in memory. It was also true that many years ago I used to hold a world record in forgetting. It's not official. If you ask my mom and dad, they'll tell you I had a lousy memory. In fact, I still remember one of those days. When my 15 years old, my mom asked me to buy something from the shop. I got onto my bicycle, went to the shop, parked my bicycle, went into the shop, and as I was going into the shop I totally forgot I went there on a bicycle, walked out of the shop and started walking back home. And the most embarrassing thing was I realized I left my bicycle only the next day. Now for those of you wondering what happened to the bicycle, well, you guessed it, I lost it. So I had a lousy memory. I went from a person with a lousy memory to breaking a Guinness record. And the good news is anyone can train their memory, anyone can become a fast learner, because today I'm going to show you my formula of how you can learn anything and master anything in a fun, easy manner. So I'm going to show you some pictures on the screen, and these are some famous people. So who is this? Thank you. Who's that? Thank you very much. And who's this? And then who's this? Let's have a quick interaction here. Can you please find a partner? The person sitting next to you by default becomes your partner. Groups of tools to trees is fine. I'll give you 10 seconds, and your exercise is very simple. Can you please turn your partner and tell him or her what is common among all these people? Your 10 seconds starts now. Go ahead. Okay, thank you very much. That's about 10 seconds time. Thank you very much. Can I have some answers? Please shout out loud. What is common? Billionaires. Thank you. What is that? Rich. Of course they're rich, they're billionaires. What else? Come on, Americans. Are they? Oh, so next time I should change that. Thanks for pointing at next. Celebrities. What else? Inspirational. That's true. Now can I also say that all these people are masters at their game? Do you agree with that? Well, there masters at their game. So when I was a teenager growing up, when I used to read or hear about successful people and their extraordinary achievements, I always used to be fascinated by their stories. I always used to wonder, what is it that makes these people very, very successful? Now I'm talking about way back 1990s. In those days there was no internet, and if you want to do research in 1990, what do? You go to library. That's exactly what I did. I went to the library. I fell in love with reading books, and I used to read hours and hours, and finally when I started reading a lot of these books, I found out the secret of success. Like most of you say, they're all rich and billionaires, but then most of the common things, like they're passionate. All these successful people, they are passionate, they have clear goals, they have a good purpose, they are hardworking, they are committed, they are confident. But one thing that many people miss out is they all have committed to lifelong learning. You name any person who has achieved extraordinary levels of success, I can tell you that that person has committed to lifelong learning. They keep on learning new things on a regular basis. Like Oliver Wendell Holmes said a long time ago, a mind that is stretched by a new experience can never go back to its old dimensions. And that is the reason I say that your learning ability decides your earning capacity. And there's also the reason why if you learn faster, you will stand out from everyone else. If you learn faster, you can go from underpaid to overpaid, and if you learn faster, you can have an unfair advantage over others. So the question is, how do you learn? So it all starts with input. Now what I mean by input, now most people, they just focus way too much on input. What I mean by input is they go to seminars, they read books, they watch videos, they listen to podcasts, they follow blogs. It's input, 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 and more input. Well, there's nothing wrong with learning and how can I use this information in my life? How can I use information in my work, in my family? When you pause, when you reflect, when you ask these questions, that's how learning solidifies. Otherwise it's all just wasted. And after reflect, the next step is implement, and this is where the magic happens. And unfortunately many people miss out on this thing. What they do is they go on learning new things, they get excited and they feel good, they feel inspired, and they're going to learn something new. You just messed up. Now the problem is if you get into the habit of just learning without implementation, what you get illusion of competence. You feel you've learned it, you feel you're competent, but it's not competence at all because you haven't implemented it. So my suggestion is, when you are learning something, stop, write down what are the few things I can take action on, schedule it in the calendar and take some action, because this is what one of my mentors told me, Nishant, a lousy action is better than no action. Do you agree with that? Thank you very much. And of course the last step is share. Raise your hand if you heard this thing before. The best way to learn something is to teach it. Thank you. You all heard that, and that is so true. When you learn something, just output it, just share it with other people. Now if you don't know, if you don't want to teach, you could just share it, you could just discuss it. But what happens is when you share things with the people, what you're doing is you're helping your brain to pay more attention, and then you will be on your path to mastery. So I have not seen anyone who became a master at something just by doing the input. They all became masters by doing the input and more of the output. So I have a question for you. When you're learning something new, how much time do you spend on learning, and how much time do you spend on reflecting, on implementing, and on sharing? And if you're not spending more time on input and output, that's not a good thing. Now coming back to the numbers I memorized, I know you're wondering how I memorize these numbers. Now for that I have a simple system. It's called visualization and association. Now how many of you believe that the brain remembers pictures better? Yes, that's the reason why we always say, I've seen you somewhere. Sorry, what's your name? Do you ever say, hey, I know your name, what's your face? Doesn't happen, because that's the way the human brain works. So what I do is I have pre-assigned visuals for every two-digit number. So as Angela was calling these numbers to me, so what I did was I tried to convert those into the number visuals that I already have, and I use association to link them up together. Now if you're wondering how do you do so fast, that is where implementation comes. When you practice, when you implement it, that's how you become a true master. Now in fact, when I do these workshops, people can do this at the end of 1 day or 2 days. It's not that easy if you the right technique. Now coming back to this thing, I have a simple solution for you before I close, and this is this: if you're spending X amount of time on input, my solution is at least spend 2x amount of time on output. And when you do that, you are well on your way to be a master at achieving anything you want. Now because I messed up a couple of digits, I want to challenge myself. I got inspired after Monarch's speech. I'm going to challenge myself and turn out my fear and face my fear. And what I'm going to do is just take 1 more minute. I'll try to recall this number 1 more time after speaking for 20 minutes. Okay, no, if this doesn't go well, just cut this out from the YouTube. Okay, that's good. Okay, good. So that's true. So let me see if I can recall these numbers in the backward sequence, challenging myself. Who knows? 435261159.